How about that rain and wind last night?
Crazy storm. There's like a tornado watch, wasn't there?
It was a tornado.
Flood warning.
Was it a warning?
I got a flood warning.
I got a flash flood warning on my iPhone.
Yes, I got it on my phone.
Do you know what's crazy about the iPhone? There was
annoying.
one time. Well, it's annoying,
But it's great.
But I'm not going to turn. I think I turned off the Amber Alert thing.
I turned that off too.
I don't want the Amber Alert to wake me up at 4 a.m. that some little 8-year-old.
You don't want to scare the girl in the back seat.
Oh wait, is this you? Oh, this is for you.
I don't want to scare the girl in the trunk. I'm going to turn that off.
No, it's just because I understand the flood, tornado, hurricane, and earthquake thing. That I'll deal with when it happens. It happened once.
Because it affects you.
When I was in, well, more so than the,
Other people's kids, screw them.
But I get those on Facebook if I care.
That's true.
When I was in public once when everybody's phone started to go off. It was insane. It was like a chain reaction because everybody had iPhones.
And it's such
Was
a
it like a
loud,
nuclear
annoying
test? Everybody
beep.
jumped under the tables?
No, everybody looked and read it. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to quickly
It
get
is.
a message
Yeah.
and
Yep.
something across. And schools do that for if there's an issue at a school, like this is a lockdown. They have those systems that send texts immediately.
My college did, I would sign up for all their text alerts.
I didn't have texting in college,
Yeah.
but
I actually had to switch everything to my battery backup last night when I was editing.
I don't
the
understand
video
what you
we
mean
have coming out.
switching to your battery
So I was
backup.
working off the MacBook Pro last night, and the hard drive I was working off of right now is just plugged into my wall.
Oh.
I still haven't, because it's a brand new hard drive. I still
It
haven't
is?
switched that out to my battery backup. So I switched that and made sure, just in case I had a power outage or something like that in the middle of the video, that would have sucked to lose everything.
Super shitty. I got
terrible.
one too.
RAWtalk that happened one time.
Let
Lost
me
everything.
Let me do the intro and then we'll pick up the conversation.
Okay.
More. Jared Poland.
Welcome to Dick Talk, premiere episode number 1.
Episode
by,
1.
By an overwhelming response, this is the premiere episode of Dick Talk, featuring our new sidekick, Jared Poland. Welcome, Jared. How are you today?
You missed an opportunity to say our head dick. No pun intended. Our head
No,
dick.
I think I'm the head dick.
All right, can I get the intro done?
I
That
just
was
did
the
it. I just
intro.
did it.
Jared Poland, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 172 as we work our way up to 253.
69.
53.
Welcome to another show. Let's get back into that talk. So it was an unbelievable storm. I mean, we had my umbrella broke.
Sound like my house was gonna blow over. The wind was
I
insane.
know, everybody's worried about flooding, lightning strikes, wind damage. Jared's worried about his fruity ass umbrella with a little LED
It lights
light
up.
in it.
And it's supposed to be anti-wind. It's supposed to be wind resistant.
Because I was telling you my internet's down, and I was like, I hope it's not going to be down today when we were recording this because I have to do all the photo news research. And I was saying I might have to come over early, and you're like, yeah, I feel you. My umbrella's broken. I got to contact them.
Damn it, my umbrella that makes everybody say, look at me, look at me.
That was
It's broken.
That was a text to you guys that I was trying to game the system again.
Oh, I know.
Cheating
I
the
know.
system.
Ignored it.
That's why we bring it up early.
I mean, it's not pretentious that it lights up or anything. Anyway, so the photo part of this discussion is more about the backup.
Battery
the battery
Yes,
backup.
yes,
I
yes.
have the
Huge.
battery backup. I spend the APC,
Pretty inexpensive, too.
well, at least $189.
Which, it's a hard drive.
I bought
mean,
mine at B&H because it was free shipping, whereas Amazon was like $30 shipping.
It's a big
I think,
unit.
I think I got mine at Staples.
Well, it weighs a ton, yeah.
It's like the size of a briefcase.
If you can buy it locally, mine is about this big, but I can plug in 6 things to have backed up, plus another 6 things that don't have it, but it has surge protection for that. It's really important to have those APC backups.
Huge.
You look, the first time that you're editing and the power accidentally goes out, like there's nothing going on, it's a beautiful day, and you just have a power outage that comes back on in 2.5 seconds. You're like, oh shit, I lost everything. In this case, it just beeps at you and you keep going.
Or it bones your drive.
Yeah.
Like that's the perfect scenario to screw up your hard drive.
Yeah. I mean, I've had issues where, like, my lights will just flicker real quick. And luckily, this will power on and make sure everything's still a consistent voltage the entire time and everything's still fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, my power has definitely gone out just for like a minute and then can't come back on, and I've lost stuff
But
in
you
the
can't
past.
plug in your hair dryer and iron your clothes at the same time, so stop it.
Nope.
All right, here we go. Wanted to mention RAWtalk again, the live RAWtalk on March 3rd. So
Coming
this
up.
is your last opportunity to get tickets for that. Or if you're a student, email Noah at noah@fronosphoto.com. Let him know you're a student, how many tickets you would like. If you're a military person,
Also, tell them to stop being weird.
if you're a military person, do the same thing. If you have a cool story and for whatever reason you want to come and you can't afford tickets, email Noah at fronosphoto.com, and you can show up at the door. If you don't, you can buy tickets at the door.
Todd will be scalping tickets outside.
I'll be out front, $20 a pop.
I prefer that you go online and spend the $8 and we absorb the fee just so that you can print your ticket out.
I'm going to take people's $20 and then they're not going to be able to get in.
You're going to sell them a counterfeit ticket.
Yep.
It's going to be funny. Anyway, so that's if you want to come in, it's March 3rd, 7 o'clock at night. Doors are at 6:30. It's going to be a lot of fun, because the live shows always are.
Oh, yeah.
So the plug this week, I'm plugging my bag, which I forgot to bring over. Pop it up on the screen for me.
Okay.
Plug in your bag?
Go to store.fronosphoto.com. We have the Fronos Photo I Shoot Raw Think Tank style retrospective 30 bag. The funny thing is, the last guy, or one of the guys who bought it, sent me a message. He's like, I never knew I could fit so much stuff in a bag. He's like, it doesn't look like you can do that, but I have the entire Hebrew Trinity, plus an extra body in the front, plus an extra 2 lenses in the front, plus attaching stuff to the side. It is an unbelievable bag, and all I will say is it's less expensive. It's better material than what they sell with their Urban Disguise currently, because it has the ballistic nylon. It's going to be a 20-year bag.
Yeah. And it'll fold down too. It'll collapse.
It will collapse if you want to travel with it empty. But I say it's a 20-year bag as long as you don't lose it or have it get it stolen. You shouldn't really. This bag's not going bad. I absolutely love it. So if you do purchase that bag, I am going to include 3 free lens cloths and a wristband mega pack.
What?
That's another.
Wristband
that's like,
mega pack.
I don't know. That's like a $25-ish, $30 extra value.
How many wristbands are in the mega pack?
I have no clue. I don't know, 6,
When
7.
Heidi goes like this.
That's what I was thinking.
Mega pack.
50 wristbands later.
Here's your mega pack.
Is that say hi to Heidi? She's watching probably.
Yeah, she's listening, right?
Heidi's my friend.
She's
Heidi's
awesome.
My friend.
Heidi's going to be
Then
live.
she said to me at the party the other day, "You know, I don't sound like that." I said, "I know, my bad, my bad."
Heidi will be at the event selling merch.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
We'll have bags in person. We'll have shirts in person. We'll have hats and all that stuff.
Is
Hang out
the
after.
Straight Out of Focus shirt going to be there?
Maybe not.
We'll make an
Really?
appearance.
I don't know.
Telling you, we need to have those guns. Shoot the shirts in the audience.
A gun. That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
We should get Joe a costume. A microphone costume that doesn't work.
Well, you know what? We used to have an idea about having like a Fro character costume.
Yeah.
Like a mascot.
That's exactly where Joe needs
Wouldn't it
to
be fun though if he was in a microphone and it couldn't work?
Oh, the irony.
The mute
Then he
button
can
was
do what he does now, sit here and do nothing.
Well, every once in a while he pushes a button. So that's it. That's the plug of this week. My bag. Todd actually has the bag. I don't know if he's used it yet.
Oh, I threw it out.
Stores
Great.
porn in
You-
there.
No. What did I
I use it.
I actually took it on a shoot where I had two camera video shoot and just threw everything in it, and I didn't need anything else. And what I like about it, that's so much better than the other thing that I have, the backpack thing, is
The
flip
Canon
it open and it's
backpack.
all right there, easy to get in and out of all the compartments,
Yep.
and I like that a lot.
Anyway, store.fronosphoto.com. Just pick up one of the bags. United States, it's much easier because we absorb most of the shipping. I think it's $12.99 for shipping. Through the rest of the world, we have to charge $50 or so. It's really expensive because we have to insure it because it's a $200 bag. If something happens to it, we can't go in the hole. And shipping's just, we don't control the cost of shipping to other countries. That is the cost of shipping through USPS, and then the other countries add on top of it, and then insuring it, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Photo news, music this week is thunder, lightning, it's frightening.
It's frightening.
Photo news, windy, music in 3, 2, 1. Brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro. Go. What are you doing? Playing video games, Todd?
The power just went out.
That's how I knew the power went out at other places. I was talking to some people, and I'm on the game. Some readers, by the way, listeners, viewers, whatever you fucking call them. Power goes out, guys just fucking disappear all of a sudden. I was like, "Fuck, what the hell is going on?" So.
All right, let's get to photo news. We have a lot of stories this week. Followed by
Yes,
photo
a
news, we'll
ton
get into some other
of
stuff, but
stories.
you'll have to see it when it happens. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
A lot of gear-related stories this week.
Is it all right in a business conversation when you're having a talk just to, be like blah 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 blah? Because I've been
very
doing
professional.
I've been doing it on occasion. I'll be like, you know what I mean, blah 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 blah. blah.
Fill in the blank. I mean, that's universal for fill in the blank. You know what we're talking
Exactly. See, it's professional.
There you go. Lightroom Mobile has been updated to version 2.0 on Android. Now, the upgraded Android version of Lightroom now has full RAW support. You can now shoot, edit, and share raw DNG photos, all while still inside the app. However, the DNG capture option is only on devices that provide DNG capture capabilities, so it's not every Android device.
And not iPhones yet.
Exactly. Well, it's only Android, not iOS. New features include non-destructive built-in shoot-through presets, a new in-app camera, the dehaze tool, which is also on the desktop app, a new curve point tool, split turning, target adjustment tool, and more.
I saw by the comments by popular
Popular
how those
demand, they're
comments-
telling you to shut the fuck up.
overwhelming support was more singing.
You are a filthy liar.
Complete opposite.
Dude, I guarantee
you read that one
Noah,
comment.
make a note to take a tally of yays and nays for
Yep.
that bullshit.
Exactly.
'Cause they're overwhelming. They told you to
Overwhelmingly
shut your pie hole.
positive. I will continue to sing because guess whose show it is?
Me and Steve.
This is TikTok, right?
TikTok
now,
episode 1.
you can see some preview photos showcasing like before and after images edited in Lightroom Mobile 2.0, again on Android, and shot by photographer Colby Brown, who used the app on his Nexus 6P to create a photo series.
Is that Chuck Brown?
From when he went to Cuba. And it's now available as a free download in the Google Play Store.
So it's free.
It's free, yeah.
'Cause I left
Lightroom
that
is
question-
officially free for everyone.
Well, it's free.
been like that, though, for a little
It's
while.
free to use the app, right?
Yes.
But in order to sync your photos between the two
You
things,
need to have
you need to have
CC.
CC,
Yep.
which we're doing some work with Adobe right now. That's why you're seeing some of the Adobe videos coming out. One, I've been making those videos for a long time. Now we have like a agreement going on, which is really good because they can come to us early and we may be able to get previews of stuff, which may mean that as soon as something new launches, we can bring it to you quicker.
Yeah, not
That's
2 weeks later.
Yeah, not 2 weeks later. So maybe we and we may
Can I
have
get a free CC code?
I don't know, maybe. But that's why
I need that, Jared.
I'm making a bunch of. I made the first video of Lightroom Mobile.
Yeah.
I put that video up, and the reason I did that, I took a picture of Noah at lunch, and I was going to go into Lightroom Mobile to edit it, and I was like, wait a second, why don't I just go home and record my first experience with it? So I recorded my first experience, Todd,
So did I. That's weird.
in Lightroom Mobile, because the first time when I went in there just to look at stuff before editing, I was like, this is weird. This is hard to find everything. But then when I started editing, I was like, oh, whoa. There's some fine tuning that I couldn't do on Snapseed, even though I love the way that Snapseed works.
There's a lot of hidden functions. and
There's a lot of
features, yeah.
functions that I think what I know is that the guy from who developed Snapseed now works at Adobe.
The original guy.
The original guy.
Gotcha.
Not to the 2.0 guy, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Just with the money that Adobe has behind it, there is no doubt in my mind that they're going to continue to
tell
make
where
this
they're
better.
going, yep.
On the iPad Pro, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it. I have to make a video this weekend that I want to show how the syncing works because I sat on the call with Adobe and they showed me it and I was like, that's it? How the syncing works? The fact that I can sync my, you're not syncing RAW files, and no, you can't edit RAW files on here or load it into the iPad yet or Lightroom Mobile other than Android when you shoot it. But the fact that I can make a collection, drop it in there, it syncs between all the devices, it pulls it down here, and then I can have a smart preview on my iPad and just take it over to La Colombe and start really editing.
It has to be a smart preview, right?
Well, it creates it automatically.
Yeah.
But it's instant. Not saying that I don't want to. I want to edit on my computer no matter what. But if you want to do some tweaking because you're gonna fly and you want to do some stuff, you could do that, and then it syncs it to your computer with all the changes, and you can
original
tweak it
raw
even
file,
further.
and yeah.
Or you could just go through and flag it. Not one of those girls in high school that twirl the flags.
Yeah.
You can actually flag it as you go through.
Well, I love when you were showing me yesterday when you were doing the Lightroom Mobile edit of Noah, and then you synced it up to your desktop. All the edits came up on the right-hand side
the
your
history.
develop module, like you normally,
Wow.
like it
So-
normally appears. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you haven't checked this out, if you want to do the syncing, like if you can download it for free and use it, I would try it.
So you could use it for free on your phone, taking phone pictures.
Well, you
tweak
don't have
your
to take phone
and
pictures.
put them on Instagram.
You
can
can
edit.
Yeah, well, you can edit the
I'm
pictures.
saying bare bones. For me, I could take a picture with my phone, edit in Lightroom Mobile for free.
I think so.
And post it to Instagram.
I'm getting verification of that because I know Noah tried it yesterday. I think you can use the app, but
well,
I'm
right
not.
there's your first problem.
Because
you let Noah try to do it.
It used to be where you had to have a CC account to access Lightroom Mobile
Got
to really
you.
do anything with it, but they
Okay.
recently made it free to for
Okay.
anyone to use.
All right, yeah.
All right.
And I'm getting more verification just so I can say it in my videos. But if you want to get a free trial of CC, go to fronosphoto.com/CCphoto, and that will take you over to the trial page. And it's an affiliate link. So we get credit when you decide to sign up through our thing. That's a good thing. So keep moving. I didn't mean to actually go into all of that.
No,
but
that's
Support
fine. I
the
think
fro,
it's,
mofos.
I mean, it relates to the conversation.
I was
so.
just super. I thought I wasn't going to like it. And then the fine-tuned nature of the editing, I was like, I can get in here and actually fine-tune.
So it
still
was
have to check
familiar
it out
to you. It was
myself.
familiar.
Yeah, but the layout needs to change. The way that the sliders
Yeah, the
need
UI
to go.
isn't exactly like
no,
it is on the desktop.
But
app.
when you, yeah, it needs to be changed. And on the iPad Pro, it's probably going to be great to use.
Yeah.
It's just they need to get it smarter.
is
And
it
I,
try it. I'm
optimized for
gonna
the
play with
iPad
it.
Pro?
I think it is. It's just going to get better.
Because that'll be nice to edit on. Really nice. Next up, we have Nikon has officially unveiled their new line of premium compact cameras, the DL series, which stands for digital lens, by the way. The lineup includes 3 new models, which all have pretty much the same specs, just different lens options. The DL 18 to 50, DL 24 to 85, and the DL 24 to 500, with the numbers pretty much referencing the lens focal length.
But is
for
there
each
a
model.
DL Hughley?
No DL Hughley.
Damn it.
I was waiting for that joke.
That's funny. What?
Hilarious.
You knew that was coming?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. I just thought of that right now.
Improv.
So spec-wise, all the cameras boast a 20.8 megapixel, 1-inch BSI CMOS sensor. They have an X-Speed 6A processor, a native ISO of 160 to 6400, and they shoot RAW at a blazing 20 frames per second.
Yeah.
Or you can do 60 frames per second, still photography, with AF lock, which is pretty crazy. They have 171 AF points, with 105 being phase detection, which is huge. They have a new dual detect optical VR feature. Each camera has a unique 3-inch touchscreen as well, while the two 18 to 50 and 24 to 85 cameras sport a tilting touchscreen. The larger 24 to 500 has like a full vari-angle screen similar to like the 80D, 70D, 60D. That video
And
love those
D5500.
D5500, yep. All cameras shoot 4K UHD video at up to 30 frames per second, and they have built-in Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and NFC. Now, the DL 24 to 500, it's the only camera that comes with a built-in EVF, where the other 2 models require an add-on accessory if you do want to have
Which means you're spending a lot
viewfinder.
more money.
You are.
$649, $799, and $999.
$850. You said $799, right?
But I've been seeing $799 online is the price.
Well, that was the official Nikon MSRP price, was $850.
Yeah,
Or $849.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway,
And they'll all be available in early summer. They didn't say exact dates just yet.
so this is an interesting thing. You have your Sony
It is.
RX100 Mark IV.
Yep.
Which has a built-in EVF.
High-end compact camera, yep.
It had easy buttons to make changes with the aperture ring around here and the shutter speed around here.
All customizable
I
buttons
don't
as
know
well.
that this aperture ring, the ring was used for focus on here. I don't think it can be used for aperture.
I'm not sure because I haven't used the camera yet,
Well,
but it is a control ring I believe you can switch.
There is. I hope it's for aperture because
I'm sure you can switch
I don't
it.
know where the button would be for shutter speed if that aperture doesn't work in the front.
Good question.
So it's an interesting lineup. Yes, I want to try it. I'm freaking pissed that it doesn't have a built-in electronic viewfinder.
Yeah.
They have to spend another $249.
When you're marketing those
Wow.
kind of prices towards high-end professionals, you need an EVF or some
But
kind of...
where it's better than a lot of the cameras in this market, yeah, 1-inch sensor small, we know that. But the 20 frames a second is asinine. Does it do RAW in 20 frames a second?
Yep.
Like yeah,
It does.
So 20 frames a second for that, 60 frames if you lock it in. So if you really want to get jiggy with it, you can lock it in, focus on somebody, and then have them do something weird like juggling.
Now, I don't know about the 60 frames. That might be a JPEG only. I'm not sure on that.
I'm just thinking Chuck Brown. Put up my Chuck Brown dancing thing right now.
Oh, yeah. Everyone wants to see that.
But that's how you dance to go-go, just like this.
Just like that?
His
Yeah.
attempt at humor.
It's good.
Stick to the photos.
That's how you dance to Chuck Brown.
What about Chuck D?
I don't know how to dance to
Chuck
Chuck
D.
D.
How low can you go? That's how.
Only you would bring up Chuck D. Sigma has jumped into the mirrorless market with their new pair of mirrorless cameras, the SD Quattro and SD Quattro H. The main difference between the two is the
Is an
sensor
H.
size, the H, while the regular SD Quattro comes with an APS-C size 29 megapixel sensor. The H comes with a 45 megapixel APS-H sensor. Other specs for both cameras include a Sigma SA mount, dual True 3 processors. They shoot RAW at only about 3 frames per second, or 3.5.
I'm interrupting here.
Okay.
The founder of Sigma has this desire to make a camera still.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that's the only reason that they're making cameras and not focusing in on lenses is because it's a pet project that he is into.
And they had the original Quattro series, right? A couple years back?
Yes.
But it was fixed lenses?
Nobody uses these. Nobody buys Sigma. It's like almost nobody buys Pentax. How many people buy Sigma cameras?
Yeah.
Not saying that there's anything wrong with the
I honestly forgot they made cameras
Is it
until this
Foveon?
announcement. Foveon, however you
the
pronounce
Foveon
it. Yeah,
sensor.
their
Yeah,
quattro
it's supposed
sensor.
to be some cool technology. They just haven't come out and really crushed the market yet. Now, obviously, they have lenses for it because they make
They've been
lenses.
killing it with the lens
But
market,
go ahead.
especially the art lenses.
I just want to get that in there.
Yep. So they also have a phase and contrast detect hybrid 9-point autofocus system, a max native ISO of 6400, a 2.3 megapixel EVF.
Only 6400.
Only 6400 native.
Yep, screw that.
Not 12,800.
12,800 at least.
It might be expandable, but I'm not sure. Now, the interesting part is they have this split screen 3-inch LCD, which is it has like a sub monitor on the right, which always displays your main exposure settings, while the main screen will have like all your normal LCD settings. You can go to the main menu and review the picture.
Are you
all
saying
that
there's
kind of
multiple
stuff.
screens?
There's 2 split screens. Yeah, it's a split screen.
Like picture in picture?
So it's kind of like picture in picture,
Yeah.
kind of. But there's a main screen here and then a little tiny
Is it done as
sub-screen on the
processing,
side.
or is it done like on a computer? You have 2 screens open, or is it there's physically 2 screens?
I think there's physically 2 screens.
Crazy.
It is crazy, yeah. It also has a super fine detail feature, which captures 7 different exposures and merges them into one shot with greater dynamic range. And it also has focus peaking, but only for manual focus. I don't believe this has video at all.
How much is it?
In these cameras. They didn't announce the price yet or the availability.
They just wanted to announce it.
So we'll see. They just announced it.
Because C++ is going on in Japan.
Yep.
We've
so
never
everything's
gone.
getting announced.
Maybe shit. We should make it we got to go to Japan.
1 year, yeah.
I want to go to Japan. I want to go to the fish market at 3 in the morning or 4 when the fishies start coming in.
Fresh.
And I want to just spend the day there taking photos.
Now, did you see the actual design of this? Because it is a very unique,
Yeah,
kind
it
of
had a
odd-shaped camera.
Thing over here and a thing, yeah.
And the
I saw it.
viewfinder, I noticed, isn't centered, which might be a little bit of an issue for some people, depending on which eye they shoot with. Yeah. And then Sigma also announced the world's first telephoto f1.8 zoom lens. It's their new 50-100 f1.8 DC HSM art lens. It's an APS-C lens, which is the 35mm equivalent of a 75 to 150mm lens.
Short.
It is short. Sigma says the lens has a highly durable polycarbonate diaphragm made with fluorine, and that the blades feature carbon feather film offering exceptionally smooth operation even during continuous shooting.
She's a smooth operator.
One thing they point out is that the lens also maintains its focus as it's being zoomed, which is good for videographers.
Which is cool.
Because Canon does that pretty well, but Nikon definitely doesn't do that well.
Interesting.
You change the focal length a little bit, focus is
Yeah.
all over the place. Other specs include an 82mm thread size, a minimum closed focus of about 3 feet, and it has a hypersonic motor.
Yeah.
And much more. It'll be available in Sigma, Nikon, and Canon mounts for $1,100, and it'll be out in April.
So I made a video about this, about my feelings about this about the lens, and there's a ton of comments that people were taking of me saying that I am downplaying APS-C and saying how important it is to get the full frame. I think it is really important to get the full frame. Now, a lot of people were making the assessment that I didn't really consider, which is that a lot of the Super 35mm CCD, Super 35, is a smaller sensor than full frame, and that these lenses would be great. Something like this would be great on a C300 or a C100 because it gives you the 1.8. It gives you the focus capability. Sigma's making fantastic lenses. My concern with an $1,100 lens on a crop sensor body is that it's hard enough to explain to a beginner that the body is not the most expensive thing. It's the lenses, and that they just spent $600 on a basic kit with a body and a lens, and now you're like, yeah, you can buy this, but if you ever want to go to a full-frame camera, you're SOL.
Yep.
And knowing the fact that the 70-200 2.8 OS from Sigma is $1,149 right now.
Oh.
So and yes, it's not a 1.8, and somebody gave me shit about saying that it's that has nothing to do with your exposure. It has more to do. All I was saying is that 1.8 on the crop sensor is very similar to what 2.8 is in terms of the depth of field. Yeah. I wasn't saying that 1.8 on a crop sensor is the same as 2.8 when it comes to the light gathering ability.
The technical aspect.
That's not what I was talking about. So my concern is that it's an expensive lens for what, generally speaking, amateurs are using crop sensors.
Yep.
More so than professionals. If you're one of those people that stuck to DX and you're a professional, I don't see it that like I see as full frame as there's a reason. It's not just because it's a bigger sensor. It's because, well, it's a bigger sensor and it's a cleaner image, generally speaking. Cool lens, it's short in my opinion. It's
50 to 100.
75 to 150. It's a short range. They're trying to say that it covers the the classic 85,
135, 100, and 135.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they said.
85, 100, 135. So it's like 3 lenses in one at 1.8. Sure, whatever. But still, it's
That's a good
$1,100.
point. Yeah.
Still $1,100. But if it is a great video option, then I could see that as being a great video option for the people that can afford that.
That is a good thing to bring up, that this might not be specifically for photographers, but yeah, videographers,
Right.
it'll be great for.
But I think for video, because of the crop sensor factor, you're better off getting a crop sensor lens on the wide end. Because, I put a wide angle, like 16 to 35 on my crop sensor camera. I lose the wide.
Well,
I lose the wideness. But
yeah,
I got an EFS 10 to 22 because I wanted wide on my. I
Right.
feel like wide's a better investment if you want a crop sensor specific lens.
I see what you're saying.
Sort
You know what
of.
I'm saying?
I do
sort
see what you're
of.
saying, yeah.
For video.
Sort of.
That's all I'm saying.
Or you could just get, the 11 to 24.
But he's saying on a crop
F4.
sensor.
I know what he's saying. I also read that people keep saying that full frame camera on a full frame lens on a crop sensor doesn't give you better quality. I cannot fathom how that is possible.
I mean, I don't know about that. I used all my full frame lenses on my 7D, and I loved it.
When Nikon came out with the full frame, the D2H and all of those, you were using 70 to 200. To me, in theory, you're using the center portion of the lens, which tends to be the sharper portion of the lens.
If anything, it's going to be the opposite.
If anything, it's going to be the opposite. Like, why would you would get better quality with it? So I don't understand why people are saying the other way around. But that's just me.
Interesting.
I think of things in practical nature, not super technical.
Yeah.
And what it also comes down to is shut up and take some fucking pictures. Seriously.
Or video.
Yeah, Joe, you
Or
hear that?
video.
All right, moving forward, we've got drone news this week. DJI is now offering their customers insurance when buying a drone. It's called the DJI Care Plan.
Will it cover somebody shooting it out of the sky?
Coverage includes operator error, signal interference, collision. It just says accidents and drop damage. So I'm really not sure if it covers somebody shooting it out of the sky. I wonder who that could be.
Yellow.
God damn it, you son bitches! You better stop poking the bear! I swear to God, you better stop poking the bear! I swear, if I see those little buzzy bees flying around, I'll be pulling out my thunder stick and firing that son bitch up into the sweet blue skies down in Kentucky. You mother truckers! Goodbye, Jew.
What? Why'd you hang up on me? I wanted to ask you about your daughter. And what happens if Trump is president?
God damn it, you better keep my daughter's sweet, sweet titties out of your mouth. And don't you talk about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Trump.
Jesus Trump.
Goodbye, Jew.
I love that the
Noah, stop being weird!
music starts up for
Don't
like
be
a
giggling
second.
back there. Meredith will punch the teeth out of your face.
I saw Meredith got a Twitter account recently, right?
Hey, you know what? It's really
He was
weird.
tweeting at me.
I
It
didn't
was
think
weird.
the man had a phone.
I didn't think he knew about
and
technology.
all of a sudden, I noticed that he had a Twitter handle. I think it's God damn it, Martha.
Got as in G-O-T?
Got G-O-T. It's God damn it, Martha. On, I believe, Instagram and Twitter.
He's got an
So,
Insta too.
Yeah,
Ooh.
man. He just put up a picture of Martha and him when they were dating as a youth. Check that out.
I have a feeling that Meredith may be in person next week at the live RAWtalk.
show. Oh,
I hope his
God.
daughter's sweet titties are there too.
Me too. I want to check out that rack.
Anyway, back to the DJI Care Plan. So the coverage includes all of that. Also drop damage. Now, it only applies to their Phantom 3 and Inspire 1 version 2 series. They're offering the new plan in 6-month or 1-year installments that you cannot add on after the first year. And the insurance doesn't cover you for loss of your drone or if more than 80% of it is destroyed. It will only be partially covered. DJI says your aircraft is considered completely damaged if over 80% of the aircraft parts are damaged. We usually recommend replacing your aircraft if it is completely damaged.
Well, that's what their insurance should do. Is it should completely replace
Exactly.
the
Isn't
aircraft
that the point of
if
insurance?
it's freaking damaged.
I mean, it almost seems like if you need a whole new drone, they'll only cover cost of whatever's left in your account. I think that's what they're doing. I'm not sure about that. Now, price-wise, to insure your Phantom 3 Pro, it'll cost $189 for the 6-month deal or $279 for the year. Now, in the Inspire series, it's much higher. A year of coverage will cost you about $700.
Oh, shnikes. But that's a $3,000 body.
It is.
Or more.
Or yeah, definitely more. Or $500 for 6 months coverage.
At that point, you could almost get production insurance to maybe do a cover-all for your stuff.
But we're not sure that drones are covered in that.
A lot of drones aren't covered with production.
Maybe you get that added in there. But at that point, you're spending that kind of money. Because I've seen annual production, decent annuals for like $1,500, $1,000, covering a ton of shit.
Yeah, I think that's why DJI specifically made this, because a lot of it doesn't cover drones.
Yeah,
a lot of the insurance. Yeah.
Interesting.
Now on the drone topic, the FAA says that they can now detect drones flying near airports and find the drone's controllers on the ground after successfully testing their new drone detecting technology at an airport for the very first time. Now, earlier this month, the FAA and defense contractor CACI, they tested the new drone detection technology at the AC International Airport, Atlantic City, right around the street from us. It's called Sky Tracker. It follows the radio signals that drones use to connect their operators, which would enable authorities to locate the rogue operator. Now, from January 25th to February 2nd, the FAA conducted 141 tests.
But they can locate drones in Atlantic City, but they can't find the hookers.
They conducted 141 tests with drones both on the ground and in flight. Now, CACI's COO, John Mengucci, says, in quotes, Sky Tracker successfully identified, detected, and tracked UAS in flight and precisely located drone ground operators, all without interfering with airport ground operations.
But can they find Tiffany?
Sky Tracker.
I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone
Or Candy.
Candy would be better.
Candy.
Mercedes?
Yeah. Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Can find Mercedes down there.
Yeah, but
It's always car
my
names.
Mercedes Benz. I'm gonna buy me a car.
Nope.
I can't think of that song, but when you said
No idea what
Thank
song
God.
that
when
is.
you said Candy, it just reminds me of Mandy Moore.
That's what I was
singing
thinking of, too.
Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm so addicted to the loving that you're bringing to me. Ooh girl, sweet, sweet baby. Ooh, you got me down on my knees.
Todd's busy throwing up over there.
Ooh, yeah, that is my jam right there.
I haven't heard that song in ages.
Mandy
I don't
Moore.
think I ever want to hear it again. Thanks.
Mandy Moore Candy.
Moving on.
Thank you.
Look up Mandy Moore Candy on YouTube. That was my jam in her. She was wait, how old was she in that video?
man.
Exactly.
Amber Alert? What?
Amber Alert.
Good recall, guys.
Now, Sky Tracker also allows law enforcement to initiate countermeasures that, unlike other technologies, do not interfere with legitimate electronics or communication systems in that area or with UAS that are being operated responsibly as determined by the U.S. government. So it sounds like they can fly drones, but they can also take down your drones.
Oh, it's okay for them to do it.
No word on when or if this will roll out to every airport, if this is just going to be an Atlantic City thing. Again, that was just a test for the FAA.
Testing.
Interesting,
1, 2,
though.
3.
Again, don't fly your drones near airports. What's it, like 5 miles radius or
it's
something?
a big radius.
Yeah.
Pretty much don't fly your drones anywhere.
Let's see.
Basically.
This is a pretty big story this week. One self-proclaimed famous photographer, famous in quotes, named Jake Olson is stirring up the photo
shit.
community after posting some controversial public comments on his Facebook page last week. Now, it all started when someone posted a thread from his Facebook page to Reddit. Always starts at Reddit every single time. Redditor Midwest00 says, recently there was some discussion about Jake Olson's tutorials. If anyone was considering
First off, has anybody ever
them-
heard of this guy?
I've never have personally. If anyone was considering purchasing them, I would ask that you read this first. And he posted that screenshot. Now, the screenshot consists of a picture of Olson's new Porsche. In the post, he specifically details how the Porsche cost him $190,000
For his wife.
For his wife. Now, here's where it went all downhill. One commenter asked, "Why is the price so important to know?" And he replies, "So you know how much money I have and how much you don't. Duh." He goes on to reply
Wait,
to
Jared
other.
posted this, or
He goes on to.
best of the best with honor, sir. I spare no expense.
He replies to other commenters, though, noting that he has plenty of money and jobs this year, specifically over $2 million in corporate commitments this year. And then he goes on to say how he's famous because he has his own Wikipedia
Contact him
page.
at douchebag mother trucker.
And he was written about in Forbes. He has like his own biography, all this crap. Then after all of this,
By the way,
Olson's-
his website still has Flash on it.
And by the way, after this whole controversy, his article on Wikipedia is now being considered for deletion for being a self-promoting advertisement.
Money can't buy class, FYI.
Now, the big thing, the final blow here was when he told a commenter that they've been publicly shamed. Move on. Oh, and Sirius gives suicide some thought.
Whoa!
Thought is what he said, yeah.
So is
By
that
the way,
it? Do you have
Joe,
more?
I have a lot
I'll
more,
tell you
yeah.
later.
He then told Petapixel, because I tried to reach out to him about this whole thing, that he doesn't deny the comments that he made. If anything, he was happy about it, saying he received over 1,000 new Facebook likes on his page overnight as a result
Congrats,
of all this.
douchebag.
And then he responded to the criticism with a Facebook post that has since been deleted, saying, "It's all pretty amazing. This shit put me on the map. 6,000 new Facebook pages likes in less than 24 hours. It's insane." All caps, by the way.
All Donald Trump supporters.
However, as a result of the bad publicity, which he claims there's no such thing, some of Olson's international workshops have reportedly been canceled, and after days of the initial bad PR, his workshop site and dedicated Facebook page have been taken offline. So it does appear, Mr. Olson, that there is such thing as bad PR.
A lot of people sent this in. A lot of people were asking our opinions on this. How are you, like, it's one thing to brag and post stuff. It's another thing to sit there and tell somebody that they should commit suicide. I mean, that is just absolutely
Depends on how much of a douche they are, though.
It's just so, and by the way, Todd's joking for anybody out there. That's called a joke, which is fine. But this is unbelievable. You put up your car, so what? That's fine. You say that's 190,000. That's douchey. That's stupid.
Exactly.
Super douchey.
When somebody's going to comment and your retort is that, you like that word? Retort. Your retort is that I make tons of money. I have $2 million in corporate commissions.
New money.
I have all of this
money.
stuff. It's like you need to have class when you make money. And it's like you don't need to show off all the time. Now, I will tell you that Todd and I sit and have conversations about me replying to commenters.
We don't talk ever outside of here. Don't tell people that.
You have to be very careful when you comment back to people.
Don't drop F-bombs.
Do I do that?
You do it all the time.
I get very upset.
Who the F cares? Blah, blah, blah.
I get upset in the comments, but I also try not to comment. I may type something and then delete it.
When does that ever happen?
I have seen him do that on several occasions.
I'm just because I get upset. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm like,
there's no
do not
reason.
post that.
There's no reason to engage. Yeah. Engaging is the wrong thing with the haters. Though the guy wasn't asking a terrible question. It's like, why is it important about money?
Yep.
He could have been like, well, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Or just not even do it in the first place because that's not something you
Or,
really.
look,
Why
you
would
can
you
post a car, and people that know cars are going to be like, holy shit, that's
Exactly.
legit.
But-
and just see Porsche, you're going to be like, oh, it's an expensive
But you know
car.
what do you want to do? Remind your broke friends?
Yeah.
Well, what the guy's doing is basically saying, this is where all your money is going when you fund stuff. Just in a douche way. But getting into a fight, an argument like this, saying, do you know who I am? Basically is what say, do you know how much money I make? I make so much money. I have all these corporate. Oh my God, this has put me on the map.
2 million in corporate gigs.
This has really put me on the map. No, that's terrible press. Knowing that you're an asshole and you're saying shit like you should kill yourself, I don't quite think that's a good thing to say.
No.
Maybe if you want to be a douchebag, you can pull the old, you know what? I'm going to continue to post stuff like this. You don't have to read it. You might as well unsubscribe.
Oh, speaking of unsubscribing, let me jump in here on a Facebook thing. So we're all friends with high school people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm working. Facebook's up over here.
Playing
Pop,
Destiny.
Bloop, little bloop. Yeah, Destiny, Facebook. Not the editing guy,
Not the
though.
editing
Yeah,
guy.
nothing like that. So a little notification pops up. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Somebody mentioned my name in comment section. Some high school buddies. I'm like, oh, cool. What do they talk about? Start reading the comments. They're like, yeah, I had to unfriend him for talking liberal something else. And I was like, oh my God. They started talking like, yeah, cut him a break. He's
Talking
in
about
the
you.
entertainment
And they
business.
tagged
He
you.
has to be a liberal. These are guys
Wait.
I went to high school with. One dude I was a friend with since second grade. And I was like, and I don't think they realized by like typing my name, it linked me in automatically.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, cool story, guys. And
With
then
the-
all of a sudden, crickets for like an hour. And then one guy was like, oh, speak of the devil, hope your family's good. And I was like, really?
You don't ever post political stuff, though.
Rarely. I mean, maybe I voted, and I think it's important everybody votes, no matter
Well,
what
I
your
agree,
no matter what your
but
affiliation.
you're not
You
like-
should vote or shut up.
Exactly.
But anyways, I was a little disheartened by Just that
But-
whole thing going down with friends on Facebook.
So the whole thing with this is you need to be the bigger person. If you
Yeah.
are making all this money and you are that successful, why do you need to brag and sit there and say, I am so good at what I do? You can think it
I got
inside.
this free camera from Canon. Look at all this ink, $8,000. Bought a new loft, by the way, and I bought a new building, the Fro factory. You should probably check it out. Got all this free stuff that people are sending me.
$1,400 in ink, all right?
All this stuff on the Wheel of FRO.
Why do you gotta list
Billions
the
of
price?
dollars spent on that.
And that made me think about that. But I don't own a Porsche, and I have no desire to own a Porsche. And the stuff that we're creating,
Because your hair wouldn't fit in.
well, why am I even trying to defend myself in comments to
I'm
Todd?
joking.
I know he's joking, but he's just trying to poke the freaking bear.
I do poke the bear.
He's just
time.
poking the bear. But you know, these are the things you could talk to somebody privately. But when you say stupid stuff like "I hope you kill yourself," you got to draw a line right there.
On your
If-
own Facebook page.
if you
let
want to be
alone-
an asshole, which is, in my opinion, what he was being this bragging, that's fine. Make money. Nobody. That's great.
Yeah, be a dick. Run for president.
Well, right. So that's it. It's really the matter. It's horrible. I've never heard of this guy. I don't
haven't
know
either.
anything that he's created. I don't know if he is making all this money online or not because I've never seen any of his stuff or where it even is. And that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I honestly think when you get to the point of making responses that mean and vicious, it's because you have nothing else to fall back on.
or you
So
don't.
he knows he's a douchebag. He knows he's wrong. He's insecure already because he feels he has to brag about it. Why you need that much money into a car, regardless, is I'd never guess.
Unless you
anyways,
have
but-
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I'm just like to tell somebody to go kill themselves. You're obviously a douchebag, and you know it, and you've got nothing to fall back
And
on.
as a professional who's online, you should be aware, like, understand that you don't get into flame wars. You don't sit
No.
there and
No.
engage.
Not at
Like
all.
on Twitter the other day, somebody was saying something because I put up another Squarespace video. What?
Oh, I saw it because he tagged me and Steven in
Oh,
it.
he tagged
and
you
he's
in
like,
it?
oh, here comes the future RAWtalk rant. Here
Oh.
it comes.
No.
Here
no.
you come, bud.
But I it was before I read this thing, but I didn't reply to the guy like, I make so much money, blah, 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 go kill yourself. Whatever the guy said on Twitter was something about, I can't watch your stuff anymore because you're a liar and all you do is promote shit.
Well,
like
you are
that
a
type
liar.
of thing.
I mean, that is
And I was
true.
just like,
I didn't read this.
okay. I was like, okay, thank you. Unsubscribe then or something. And then but I did it publicly. I put
You
a
did the
period.
dot?
I did a dot before it so that every reader could then take over so that I'm not going to, and I was basically like, look,
Let them fight your war.
I'm not going to start.
What do you mean you put a period before?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
I said, I'm not going to. Basically, I
Twitter
replied
thing.
to the guy because I'm sitting there. I'm like, why am I going to engage in this conversation? The guy already thinks that I'm an asshole, and all I do is try to sell shit.
And he's right.
And so I simply just left it with I have no space in my brain for this. I'm going to go work and create more. And then I just then I muted the guy. I didn't block him. I muted all of his comments.
You are super hostile.
But then
on
all of the
social media.
people just were commenting back. That's what. So when you put a period, if you just at the guy, only the people that follow him and follow
you.
me will see that conversation. If you put a period there, it puts it out publicly, and then anybody can follow the
Because it
conversation.
thinks you're just
Oh.
making a tweet. It doesn't think that you're actually replying to anyone.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
Thanks, kids.
That's it. Next.
And there's a lot more to that thread, too, I want to note. But I did link it all to the website so you can read the entire thing. It would have been an hour conversation if I listed
No
everything.
need for an hour about a douchebag. We
There
do
you
that
go.
already every week.
Tether
Thanks.
Tools unveiled the world's first portable battery system that lets you power your DSLR mirrorless camera using any standard 5-volt USB mobile power bank or just a wall outlet. It's called the Case Relay. The company says this technology provides for the first time ever a hot swappable uninterrupted power source for most DSLR and mirrorless cameras on the market today. The system itself is a small box that sits like between a connected power supply and a coupler adapter for your specific camera type. Now, the Case Relay unit provides 1200 milliamps of power itself, so you can constantly replace the power supply connected on the other end while your camera's still powered on by the Case Relay unit, aka hot swappable. Paired with the relay camera couplers, it's compatible with a wide variety of Canon, Nikon, Sony, and Panasonic cameras. And Tether Tools founder Josh Simons says, in quotes, "To a photographer or filmmaker, Case Relay means you will never run out of power and won't need to stress about remembering to charge and bring extra camera batteries on every shoot."
Stress about charging your batteries your batteries better be charged before you leave for a shoot.
I just bring like 20
and
of
make
them.
sure you have a lot of them.
I just bring a shit ton of batteries.
Don't be like Todd.
And I think we talked about this in one of the guys that I'm not a big fan of having cameras plugged into direct power. Just like we were talking about messing up your hard drives. If you have a power issue, you could possibly have a power issue and mess
It's
up
not
your
plugged
footage.
into
Yeah,
the
but you can use a mobile bank, like a mobile power bank. It doesn't have to be directly
So it's a
plugged
power
into the
pack
wall.
that's always charging. And
Pretty
then you're
much.
getting power from the power pack.
Like, you know how you have your iPhone power bank?
Yes.
So you could just pretty much plug in with their
So
adapter.
it's a portable
into your-
battery pack.
Yep.
No,
for your camera.
any portable battery pack.
Any portable battery pack that has a USB 5-volt
They
connection.
came up with the power adapter for it.
Exactly.
Oh.
Their connection is the power adapter.
Pay attention.
That sounds good, though.
If
Wait a second.
Laura, send me
Hold
that.
on. Tether tools. Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Can you also send Tether
See,
Tools?
one line, that's
Send me a
fine.
muzzle as well for Jared. Laura, send me that battery thing, girl.
Now they note, again, Josh Simons notes that if you attach a 10,000 milliamp battery pack, which I think ours is 16,000 or something like that, to the other end of the system, you'll have about 3 to 10 times the power of most individual camera batteries.
I like that
on
idea,
the
though.
market
I like
today.
that idea.
So you could still be shooting connected to your mobile bank and run around all day.
You could do that, or
Sony batteries. That would be really clutch
or
for
if
it.
you're gonna tether it up into the cloud somewhere that you can't reach, you can strap a battery bank to it and bam.
And again,
continuous
this
power.
will just connect to the wall outlet too if you need to do that as well. But that, bringing up your point earlier, that is a little bit of an issue.
But if that's charging the battery and your power is just coming from the battery, then that might not. I don't know. I'd still be wary.
Yeah. Now, price-wise, it'll cost about $100 for the unit itself, and about $30 to $35 for each coupler adapter.
Huh.
So you're spending about $130. Not terrible.
Not bad.
And
Yeah.
the power banks on Amazon are like $30 these days for a huge one.
Yeah.
I forget the brand we have.
$29.99 for the one we have, and I can't think of the name of it either.
I can't think of it.
But it's the number one selling battery on Amazon.
Yeah, just look up power bank. You'll see it. A federal judge has ruled photographing or filming the police is not always protected by the First Amendment. Now, the ruling comes from two cases, Field v. City of Philadelphia and Grassi v. City of Philadelphia. That both involve citizens. Both these cases involve citizens who were arrested for simply photographing the police at work. Now, the two cases were consolidated to determine whether photographing or filming police on our portable devices without challenging police is expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment. Now, Federal District Court Judge Mark Kearney says there's no constitutional First Amendment right to film or photograph police officers when...
Well, that's because when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't have fucking cell phones.
Like they,
Okay?
You're not allowed to sketch me, hippie.
What are you doing? Get your...
Stop whittling a picture of me into that piece of wood.
And they had drones, too, because Meredith was back in 1776 fighting in the Revolutionary War.
I'll put a picture of you and tie it to a pigeon and fly it over to Ben Franklin, you son bitch.
So again, they say you don't have the right to film or photograph police officers when the act isn't accompanied by challenge or criticism of the police conduct. So if you're just filming them without actually challenging them or saying anything in protest, then you can't do that.
Well, so I read what the protest was. I think one of the women was getting too close. Like, she kept getting closer and closer and filming places where she could be interfering.
If you're interfering, that's a completely different story.
My opinion, it is, you're on the street. If it's a public place, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Seriously, within reason. Don't give the cops. They have a tough enough job as it is.
As long as you're behind the tape or whatever.
Behind the tape, or you're back a little bit and you're not, because they don't know that what they don't know, if you want to put yourself into the cops' shoes, is that when they're sitting there, two of them have their back to somebody behind them that you don't know, is the person behind them going to pull a weapon or attack you? Like, you just have to put yourself, I'm not saying that that's going to happen.
It's got to be aware at all times.
They have to be under.
Yeah,
cops
I mean,
have
most
such
photographers are pussies, so it's probably not going to happen.
But I understand that if they're lurking behind you, you don't know who's behind you, and you have to be on guard as a police officer. Now, if you're standing across the street or you're just standing there and clearly you're not saying anything, you're not doing anything wrong, you're just filming, they still need it's hard to tell
to say,
we're not getting in this whole debate about the brutality and everything, but you still have to understand that the cops have to.
It's a fine line.
They have a very tough job that they have to do, and they have to watch their ass at all times. They're on high alert.
Yep.
Because like what happened in Philly, a cop sitting in a car and a guy decided to unload 9 times on him, and he did survive
I can't believe he
somehow.
survived. Yeah,
Thank God.
But
thankfully.
the guy just walked up to the window and tried to blow him away.
No reason at all.
Nope.
Anyway, Kearney, the judge, writes, Fields and Garassi's alleged constitutional protected conduct consists of observing and photographing or making a record of police activity in a public forum. Neither uttered any words to the effect he or she sought to take pictures to oppose police activity. Now, there are particular behaviors only afforded First Amendment protection if we construe it as expressive conduct, like freedom of speech or something like that. He goes on to say, we have not found any case in the Supreme Court or the circuit finding citizens have a First Amendment right to record police conduct without any stated purpose of being critical of the government. We decline to create a new First Amendment right for the citizens to photograph officers when they have no expressive purpose, such as challenging police actions. Now, you can see the full court decision, his whole write-up. If you want to read it all for the details, it's over on the website. And an appeal is reportedly planned by both parties. So we'll see what happens. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then we got 2 more stories this week. This one I actually forgot to bring up last week because I was so rudely interrupted several times.
Yeah,
I
Todd.
skipped over it. Todd.
What?
A glass disc can now store and preserve your photos for 13.8 billion years. Researchers at the University of Southampton have created nanostructured glass discs that can store up to 360 terabytes of data for billions of years, they're saying. The crammed data is written to the tiny piece of special glass via laser writing, which they call 5-dimensional 5D digital data, because in addition to the position of the data, the size and orientation plays a role too. Now, the tech was first experimentally demonstrated in 2013 when a 300 kilobit digital copy of a text file was successfully recorded in 5D.
That's cool.
Now, not only do they have a virtually unlimited lifetime, but they are heat resistant as well. They are stable at temperatures at up to about 2,000 degrees.
Well, what if I put it in the kiln?
The university says museums, national archives, and libraries could benefit from having the eternal storage.
How do you
which
access it?
Some are calling the Superman memory crystal.
That is like that Library of Congress type shit right there.
Now, so far, scientists have preserved important documents such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Magna Carta, and King James Bible.
The Bible?
On individual discs. Now, the team are now looking for industry partners
What
to
other
further
fiction do they have
develop
on there?
and commercialize this groundbreaking new
YouPorn.
technology. And you can see behind the scenes video clip of a laser writing data to the disc. I put that over on the website. I'm not exactly sure how they read the disc, though. I think it's via the laser as well. And then one last
They rub
story.
it like the glass, make the music. Sorry.
And we've got Tamron announced the world's first 85mm f1.8 lens with stabilization built in it for full-frame DSLRs. The vibration compensation lens, the VC lens, is available in Canon, Nikon, and Sony mounts, and specs include a fluorine coating on the front element, an ultra-silent drive, a 9-blade circular aperture, and more.
USD.
And it'll be available in April. No pricing has been announced just yet, though, for this one. And they also unveiled their new 90mm f2.8 VC 1:1 macro lens. It has a new XY shift compensation feature, which uses an accelerometer to detect and counteract camera shake, improving stabilization for all focal distances from infinity to macro.
And beyond.
And that'll be available next month in Canon and Nikon mounts, with Sony to follow for about $650.
Yeah, so what Tamron needs to do is get their act together, and they're following Sigma.
They need to make a camera.
No, they don't need to make a camera, but they just need to follow along and make their lenses better.
Yes.
I've never personally been happy with some of the Tamron lenses, especially the lower end crap.
I've never personally used the Tamron lens,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure.
Is that the end of photo
That's
news?
it for photo news, yeah.
What kind of we should do 1776 sounding
Flying a drone in 1776?
just something in 1776.
Okay.
Brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so photo news is done.
Yes.
What I want to get to right now is the interview portion, because we have an interview this week, and you guys hear us talk about a guy that creeps into the background named Noah. But Noah and I were out to eat somewhere, and he started to talk about an idea that he had, and I was like, oh, snap, my brain just went into
Same
marketing.
for the podcast. That's probably what you said, isn't it?
I did. I said I should interview you today on the show if you're interested, because it got into marketing mode. And though Noah is not talking about photography with what his idea is, it is a marketing play that I think even if you're a photographer or creative or anything, it can totally work in your field. So I thought it was a great opportunity to hear what his ideas are or what he wants to do and sit here and spit ideas back at him for what he can do. And then it comes down to, will he do it? And can you guys follow along? So that was part of the discussion. And the reason I interviewed him was to start fleshing out this idea. And I think it's something that we may continue on after the fact. May not just be done in RAWtalk, but maybe it's this whole marketing idea and this plan that we follow up with Noah, see what questions he has, and I can do my best to answer them and give ideas to see how it can grow. And then it becomes this whole marketing thing that we can pass along and educate and help you guys out there take some of the information that we talked about and use it in your line of work, because it could work.
Yeah, relates to everyone.
So why don't we get to the interview right now? And remember, at the time of the interview, Noah didn't have a website name, but I do have that now, and I will give it to you at the end of this interview when we come back so that you can go check out his progress and stay abreast of everything. All right, let's get to the interview. Why don't we get into it? Noah, what did you say to me at La Colombe while we were drinking tea?
Well, we were talking about some artistic projects, and lately I'd been working on a manuscript of poems over the past couple months. I know it's been mentioned previously that I'm a graduate of a Warren Wilson College Masters of Fine Arts program, and after I graduated, I wanted to put out a book of poems. And recently, I just came up with a vision of somebody getting stranded on the side of a road. And a few feet from their car, they discover that there's another abandoned car. And when I was thinking about building this image out into something more, something literary, a poem or a book of poems didn't seem to be the right form for it. It eventually developed into a story. I started to write a story. And I started to tell you about this at the coffee shop, talking about the characters, the plot, and then getting it published, which is, the eventual and final stage of completing a manuscript.
Right. So your main thing was, I'm thinking that it would be great to get this to a publisher. I've got friends that are at publishers, and it would be awesome to finish this up and get it out and print it into the world. And that's where I stopped you. I stopped you because I feel personally, and it's not saying that what I say is gospel. We've talked about that before, but in what my experience and what I feel is that if you get to the end result and you have a book that you go to a publisher with, but that's all you have. Who's going to buy it is the question. Sure. Your goal, or you think your goal, would be to get to a publisher so that they would be the ones to promote it out to get you a following.
Yeah, and certainly in the traditional sense, it has always been the publisher's job to cultivate a following for their authors. You send a manuscript in, publisher reads it, or not even the publisher themselves, but a reader, somebody who's hired to read the manuscript, goes through what's called the slush pile, reads the manuscript, and if they think that it can sell, it's then passed on to the editors.
Right. It's the same thing as a record company.
Sure.
It's the same thing that the old model of a record company would be: you send your stuff in, somebody likes it, they're going to A&R you to death, they're going to cultivate you into an artist, and then own you. The reason I'm doing the sit down and how it resonates with you guys out there in the creative world is that the ideas that I'm spitting out to Noah, I'm spitting out for you guys too, where you can take any idea and this can work no matter what it is, whether it's photography, whether it's video, whether it's writing, whether it's being any type of creative, or even in any type of business. This stuff can work and can help you further what you're looking to do. So that's why I want to do it. It's similar to what we did with, Matt Beck, a bunch of episodes ago, or twice that I've had him on, where he started a YouTube channel about cutting hair. It all plays hand in hand. So Noah was telling me that the manuscript, getting it to somebody and getting it published. And I'm like, well, so you get somebody to say, okay, but they're the ones who are going to be like, all right, you're going to get $1 for every book that sells. And it's going to be a $10. If it's a $20 book, you're going to get $2. And I'm like, well, that piece of pie sucks. Why don't you build a following or share the information with people and get them interested in what you're doing over a longer period of time so that people feel invested in what you're doing, that then they in turn turn around and thank you for that by purchasing what you put out. And actually, where I started was, why don't you just put it on Amazon for $1.99 or 99 cents? Or why don't you give it away on your website and allow people to just come in and interact? And to me, it's about building that following, because if you have a following and then you go to a publisher, you can either have better terms with them or realize that you don't even need them to publish today. And I know it's probably something that you want to do where you print a book and have it on a shelf physically to say you're a published author. There's ways to do that stuff instantly today. On-demand book printing. You can offer that at a higher price, and I think Amazon has a service that they physically print and bind your book and sell it. So you could have the $1.99 version if somebody wants to download it to their Kindle or app, and then they could have the $19.99 version that is a physical book. People will do that.
And I think that the real part that you want to emphasize here is the difference between having the ability now to cultivate a following before the work has been seen in its publishable form.
Well, then you
Right.
miss all of the fun stuff that led up to it. So my recommendation to you is right now, you start to build a site or a social presence around your story. What it is that you are creating and all of the things that are going through the thought process. There's going to be times during this where whether it's a Squarespace site that you've built. Is your current site on Squarespace?
It is.
It is. All right. I didn't know that. I just thought you mentioned that in the past. You know, whether you do a blog there, but you also have a YouTube channel, you also have your Instagram presence, you also have a Twitter presence. And I know it may sound like a lot of work because I like you working here and I don't want you to feel like you're, not able to do what you're doing, but you have time to do that stuff.
You're talking about the business side of the art world, of culture. As an artist, the creation of a work is an incredibly solitary act. It's something that takes place first in the solitude of one's own mind and then the solitude of one's own room. And the question that I have is, how do you confront the challenge of publicizing the creation of the work without getting influenced by outsiders, the eyes of outsiders, before the thing is ready to be seen, before the thing is ready for revision of somebody else's hand? That's a question.
Well, maybe it's part of the process for today that you go through to make some of this stuff happen. Now, you got to try and not let it influence you if that's what you're saying. But I think that you get people involved in such a way that they want more. They say certain things. It may be not paint by numbers, but it may be a choose your adventure type of thing. You may get some feedback, and it may actually be good, positive stuff.
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second.
What is the website that you're going to do this on? Have you figured that out yet?
No, we just talked about it this morning. This is the first time that this is the hash out session.
It is the hash out
basically.
session because we sat there and I'm like, no, this is the stuff that makes me happy talking about. I want to talk about this stuff because I love the marketing, branding, and thoughts and the ideas that go behind building something.
But with all that, you invite a whole range of influences that are very rarely positive for the art, I think.
What we talked about, and the reason that I think it's important to invite people in is, one, you're going to be able to utilize what I've built in terms of a following. Because people that are interested, whether it's literature, if they like reading or not, they may like to follow along the process of what you're doing. And it's not that maybe you don't even put out any of your stuff in written form yet, but I think it's important that you do. I think it's important that you share pieces of sections because it gets people interested. It's the lead up, it's the build up, it's the trailer that's leading you up to the final result. But people are seeing you in your solitary room. You're sharing your thoughts and fears with the world, which is a scary thing to do, especially for a writer who's used to being, not sharing that stuff with the world. But maybe it will help.
Well, it's not the criticism that makes me nervous. When you're hashing out an idea from its inception, the draft looks and sounds like garbage. And that's a crucial part of creating art, is having, even though it might be complete crap, it's still something.
But that's something that you don't have to share. You're
Sure.
sharing the thoughts and feelings that are happening.
Sure.
Like, I sat here for 25 minutes or I sat here for an hour and I couldn't get 3 words out. So you turn to your fucking computer and you start, or the camera, and you start talking to it and say what is on your mind about it. You're sharing the process that's taking you from having nothing, the roadblocks that get in the way, the successes at the end of the night. It's 3 a.m. You just wrote for 4 hours and you're really happy with what you got and you want to share that exuberance with people. I don't even have a problem with you putting out chapters over time as you finish them or think they're finished, if that's something that works. Because I wouldn't worry about the sale now. If you're giving people all of this stuff to follow, it's like watching a TV show. People like having entertainment or things that they may not know about but interest them. And I may not be interested in books so much, but I may follow along for the ideas that you're spitting out, and the roadblocks you run into and beat may be something that resonates with somebody out there. And like we said out at breakfast, is the thing that you have going for you is you have me. And it's not an arrogant statement, and it's not one of those statements it's like you have me because I'm so good. It's that I've already built some sort of following. So all we have to do is let the readers know where they can follow along with your stuff, and if it sticks and they like it, some people will start interacting.
I'm just trying to figure out how to actually make that process interesting, though. Because think about how many movies have you sat down to watch that have been about a writer kicking himself over a sentence? Or how many stories have you really read about a director making a movie that are really that interesting? I mean, it's very, very hard to pull off something that's engaging, that's insightful, and helpful for people when, a lot of the time the artists can't even help themselves in this process.
All I'm saying is that you share your process. I'm not saying that that's the right process or the wrong process. It's your process. You're giving an intimate look into what you are doing. And because what you're putting out there, it doesn't mean that you're not going with it like, what am I teaching people? It's that I'm just sharing what's on my mind. It's vlogging at its finest. It's people talking to cameras, people writing words. And it may resonate with some people. They may follow along and they may be interested in it as you build it.
All right, so let's go from there then. I've got 6 pages written. I started last week. 6 pages. I'm not a novelist. For the record, I'm not a novelist. I'm not a fiction writer. I'm a practiced poet. So this is a slow process for me.
So basically, you picked a job where you make no money.
Yeah, it's great. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
But I've got 6 pages written. All right, so here's where I'm starting. I've got the story planned out. I've got my process. Where do I go from here?
Well, you go, okay, so you've got 6 pages.
Yeah.
You wanted people to take a look at it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I have a circle of readers and friends who I would share it with.
So what you can do is you just start talking about the process. You can put up paragraphs. You can put up the 6 pages over time if you want, and see what people think about it there. I think it would be interesting to have them show the trusted people that you have, ask them to comment truthfully, write a paragraph or 2 paragraphs, kind of like a mini review of the 6 pages, what they like, what they don't like, without giving away what's in it. And that may be interesting for people to read other people's reactions.
Sure.
Instead of you just worrying about what are you going to say, you let other people give their thoughts. And it's also putting it behind a wall. The people that are reading it are they're going to be jonesing to read based off of the reactions, whether they're positive or negative or a little bit of both. So, and this is how it works. This is why I wanted to sit on the show, is because I was over there at the coffee place I don't know where my brain's going to go when I get into these situations. I love this process of throwing just shit against the wall and seeing what ends up sticking and working our way through it. I think that you start with, my name's Noah, this is what I'm doing, join me on this journey. Follow along. Now, this isn't something that many writers let you do, is get an inside look into what I'm inside my brain. But you're sharing your thoughts, your fears, and those are the same things that people out there in the world have with whatever they're doing. And it doesn't, I'm all about putting out a lot of content. That's just the way that I feel about it. But I love the idea of, remember Doogie Howser?
You're dating yourself.
Does anybody remember Doogie Howser? No. Anyway, Doogie Howser, the show would end every every time with him turning on his Macintosh or whatever the hell kind of it actually was, I don't even know what that computer was, turning on the computer, having the prompt, and writing about his day. It was his diary. But I feel like that it's a diary of you writing this book, going through the process of getting there, going through all of the trials and tribulations of, well, what am I going to do? I want to share this information with you guys, but I don't know where to turn to next. But you just put your thoughts out there, and that will drive and direct you the direction that you're going to go. The way I see you starting is, my name is, this is what I'm doing. Here's how you can follow me. Here's what I'm scared of. And this stuff can be spread out over days. You can also take questions from readers. I always go back to that. People that are leaving you comments, you can each week, say on Wednesday, you can just answer a question or two questions about what you're doing and what your thought process is, because people are always going to have questions about what you're doing. Sure. They want to know more. So you share that with them. That's one day of easy content that you can make. Another thing is, all right, guys, I finished another page. I just want to, the story is developing, or I had trouble today. I shared, here's another piece of feedback on the 6 pages that I sent to a friend, and you put that up, or you read it, and it starts to get people interested in the entire process.
Yeah. And as the process moves forward, you can do compare and contrast of different drafts too. You could show what a paragraph looked like in the beginning and then what it looked like after a lot of revision, kind of the way that you might do a compare and contrast of a photo, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you're just putting yourself out into the world. And the whole reason that I started with this, you threw the idea out there, and I nixed your just getting it finished and then going to the end game, is because if you get to the end game, so you have a book, now you're relying on the old school method to get your stuff out into the world, and having them take all the money for it. And I know it's not just about money; it's about people reading your stuff. But in the end, there's the business side. There is always the business side, because you want to make money. It's that struggle. But if you wait to the end to get to rely on the publishing companies, which are going out of business left and right, which don't know what the hell they're doing, if they sell your book for $20 and you make 10% of that, which is, I've had book offers come in that I've just turned down because they want a deal like that. They'll give you, say, $10,000 or $15,000 advance if they like what they're doing. That advance has to go to pay for editors, and then they pay for their printing, and they do all that, and you won't see any money until they recoup that money. It's the record company model. But you could sell a book for $2 on Amazon and keep $1.75 or $1.25 or whatever it is, and you're going to make more money, make it easier for people to find your stuff. But the reason you will sell more, you'll make more, even if you sell less, is because you've cultivated people that are interested in your story.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit more about the cultivation of your following.
And then we're going to move on. And then we'll pick this up at another point.
Something else we were talking about at the coffee shop this morning was the sacrifice you make for your art in dedicating yourself to cultivating a business or a following.
So
of some
the business
kind.
versus the art side.
Yeah, I know this is something that you're interested in talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you stand with that? Because
it's a struggle.
Most of your time is spent dedicated to the business side of Frono's photo. When at heart you really are an artist, you are somebody who wants to create work, who wants to have the flexibility and the freedom and the capital to practice your art. The question is, how do you balance the give and take?
Yeah. I could just be a photographer and have no following and go out and shoot. But now that I have the following, I feel obligated at times to share the shoots that I'm doing, which means I may not shoot as much because we're not able to film it and then edit it and get it out in a timely fashion. If I could shoot every freaking day and have a team with me 24/7, I would be creating content nonstop. Sure. But it's not practical for the small team that we have right now to ask them to be nonstop shooting, because if they're nonstop shooting, then they're not nonstop editing, and the stuff doesn't get done. It's a means to an end. The goal is to get to a point where you're hopefully happy with what's coming in, that you can then focus on the art side of it. Like, if I create enough of these free guides or paying guides where that they're constantly generating revenue, I theoretically should be happy that I'm selling more and making more, but I won't be, because I'm always chasing numbers. It's just getting to the point where it's okay to step away from this for a minute and focus on going and doing that art side, the creative side. But part of this, what I'm doing right here, is the shit that I love, and I can share it with people, and it's part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and it really is no different from somebody else who's working a job to pay the bills in order to
do what they love,
practice their craft.
And
right?
this is just a different method.
Yeah.
If you want to share the stuff that you learned or that you want to go through your process, I think it's strong. I think every artist and every creative should do something like this. Talking to Bedia down the street, Pizzeria Bedia has a book deal. He has a book coming in 2017. It's a traditional style thing. And I sit there and say, if you had a following, you wouldn't need them because you can just sell directly to your readers. But you're giving a lot of value along the way. You're giving people the ability to see your process and be interested in a product that you will release at the very end.
Now, I do want to stick up for the publishing industry for a minute, and I'm not talking about the big guys like Penguin, big publishers, but the small presses, because one advantage to working with small presses, to working with small business, is that they're trusted people there. There are people who are, yes, dedicated to the sale, but all the more dedicated to the work itself. One of my advisors from my master's program, her name's Martha Rhodes. She's an editor poet at Four-Way Books in New York City, and she and her company has cultivated an incredible catalog of not just award winners, but searingly poignant and beautiful poems were built out of this relationship between the poet and the editor. And certainly you could get to that point after you build this following, but it's not a substitute, right? This is a means to an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it's important to highlight that relationship, because having a trusted
Then you go
reader,
through the whole process.
Right.
Because look at Andy Weir. We talked about this for The Martian. He was giving away his manuscripts, and he was revising them as comments came in with corrections and everything like that, and people started to ask, we want this in a book form so we can buy it from you. He just wanted to give it away, but he had to put it on Amazon at the least expensive Kindle version. People started to buy it. Then they started translating it to other languages so that they could sell it. Then the book deal comes, right? The traditional book deal that they wanted, and he's like, well, I'm giving it away. Why are people wanting to buy my book? Because they made it easy, and they loved the fact that he was giving stuff away and that they were following along with it. I think when you get to the process, there is nothing wrong with getting to the end and making a deal with a publisher, but your deal is going to look a hell of a lot better with you going in a year and a half or in a year to the same publisher you want to work with and saying, look, I have this following. I want a better deal. Let's do this that's mutually beneficial. And I want to talk about this story. You're going to talk about the meetings with them. You're going to give people an inside look into the industry that you love and share that with the world. And it's going to help you move product. But it's the story. People are going to buy the product because they followed your story along and they want to see the final result, even if you've given them pieces of the crumbs along the way. They're still going to do that.
That story has got to be good. The work has to sell itself on its own merit as well. And that's something else that we touched on this morning, is that we get these emails from your followers from everywhere, in and out, people who are looking for a way to gain the secret to gaining a following. At the foundation is the work, is the quality of the work. And that really is the secret. I mean, certainly you can bone up on however, whatever marketing strategy or promotions that you want, but the bedrock of your success comes from the quality of that work, which can only be achieved by spending hours and hours in the woodshed, hours and hours writing a draft, taking a photo, and revising. I mean,
and you're sharing that with everybody.
I forget who said it, but this is a motto that I go by, is that real writing starts with revision. It doesn't start with the first draft. It starts with the second, the third, and continues on until it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So the secret starts with the work.
There's no secret. You beat the shit out of it. You do a good job with it. And if it resonates with people, they're going to follow. And you'll know that really soon.
Yeah.
We're going to stop there. We're gonna pick this up another time. We're also going to tell you where you can find this stuff, because Noah has about a week and a half to 2 weeks to figure out how to start this. It's going to come down to Noah doing the work, but what's going to be good is that we can share the entire process. I have a following that now can reach out and start to latch on to what he has, and if that interests them, that's going to be good. All right, and we'll see if this is an interesting series. That's what business and this creative process is about, to see what resonates and to see what works. All right, good.
Sounds great.
All right, back to the show.
All right.
So there you guys have it. I didn't mean to interrupt Noah if I was interrupting him. I just, when these ideas get flowing, I'm like, shut up, kid, I got an idea.
Shut up! I want to make this about me.
No, but I just didn't want to lose my train of thought. Usually is what happens. But I think this was a great conversation. I think it should give everybody out there a lot of just something to think about with whatever field that you're in, that there are possibilities to do stuff. Now, this is just at the very beginning, and Noah went out and purchased a website called wordshop101.com.
Wordshop.
Wordshop.
I get it.
Writing, all that good stuff. But that's what he's come up with. So you can go there.
That's fast.
I don't know what's over there yet, because it's probably not built right now. But hopefully, actually, when we're recording it, it's not built. But there will be something there by the time you guys are hearing this. So something will be there, right, Noah?
And if you want something even better, go to stopbeingweird.com. Stopbeingweirdnoah.com.
So Wordshop 101, and the idea is for us to follow along and see how it goes, because I think it's unique. We're gonna do follow-ups. We'll see how it goes. Let us know what you guys think. If it's interesting, I think it's interesting. So we'll see what happens. Let's get to gear of the week.
What do we have?
Well, at first I had sugar snaps.
Sugar snaps.
Sugar snaps. Todd.
They are good.
I have a bag. Noah, Steven, Joe. Joe, go to
Bobby,
the
Bill,
refrigerator.
John.
Bob, go get that.
Go to the refrigerator. Open up the refrigerator.
Don't you hit that fucking GoPro, Joe.
Grab the sugar snaps, top left corner, and give it to Todd just to hold, not to eat. Don't eat my sugar snaps. But just show it on the camera, Todd. So these are at BJ's. The $4.99 gives you a bag of sugar snaps. If you want to sit and eat something, a snack during editing, and you don't want to grab crappy food like candy, sugar snaps are a great substitute. Brought to you by the Sugar Snap Foundation of America. No, just kidding. But I love sugar snaps. Todd, you took a liking to them, right?
What?
Clearly.
Anyway, so that's one gear of the week. Give them back to, and the other gear of the week is because I now have the Canon printer running, and I've got the Epson P600 running, and I'm hoping that they send me a P800. I've been getting paper from other companies.
We're going to have like 50 printers by the time we're done reviewing all these.
Screw the tree. Send me all the paper.
One company is Red River.
Is that your new iPad?
Yeah.
The iPad Pro 2.
This is
The
17.
iPad blind?
What is this, 17 by 22? No, that says 17 by 25.
17 by 25.
Oh, they accidentally sent me this because my printer doesn't take this. It takes 17 by 22. So I don't know if the Epson can take the 17 by 25, but on the other side, Ilford makes inkjet paper, and they sent me out some as well.
How much did it all cost, Jared? $190,000?
Let me explain something, Todd. So this is gold fiberglass. This stuff could be about $89 a box, up to $189.
Wow.
For 25 sheets. It depends on what you're getting. This is really good paper.
It's quality
Now,
paper for sure.
Let me explain why I'm different than that guy, Todd. Because one,
Because I'm really struggling with trying to figure out the difference.
Jesus. I called these companies and asked them to send out paper. It's a trade-off. You send us paper, we bring it out and share the findings with the world. It's
I
just
print nudes.
It's just a way that we can continue to make content. I know you're just busting my balls, but I take it so
I know.
I just take it
know.
freaking seriously. Because I don't want to be in the same vein as this guy.
No, it's not even close.
Thanks, Stephen. But the point is we get stuff sent to us because we have a following and we bring awareness to a community. It's the same thing that artists do, the athletes do. They bring awareness to products. Though I don't think athletes should be.
They get paid a whole lot for it, though.
Well, they get paid millions of dollars, and
Endorsements.
we're not getting. We get some gear.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of giveaways, so we get these people to give away a lot of stuff. That's part of it too.
I get a tether table and some sweet behind-the-scenes photos.
But I don't understand athletes promoting McDonald's.
Yeah.
What athlete in
Wait,
their
who
right?
promotes McDonald's?
Dude,
promotes
every athlete.
Really?
Oh my God! I'm eating McDonald's, a Big Mac, like Kobe and all that stuff. They've always promoted
You're gonna watch
Michael
TV
Jordan.
now.
Michael
Diabetes.
Jordan. For a long time, they had Michael Jordan promoting that
When he was still playing?
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Was that when he was retired, though?
No, he was still playing. A lot of athletes, when they're playing, what athlete in their right mind is going to eat McDonald's and call that a savory meal to be a professional with.
Well, when you work out 5, 6, 8 hours a day, probably on the field, it doesn't matter what you eat at that point. You know what I mean?
It does matter what you eat. No, Steven, what the fuck's his name? Joe, get the wheel for me, please. Yeah, I got what you're saying, Todd. You can eat a little bit of junk and cheat, but that's not a meal that you want to eat, especially before a game. And then they're drinking Coke.
I think people are a lot smarter with that stuff nowadays as far as like what they want to promote.
All right. Anyway, I don't drink that stuff. So that's Gear of the Week, and that's the story and reason behind Gear of the Week. Now we've got the Wheel of FRO up here. We've got Rode microphone. Each and every week we use the Rode broadcasters. We're taking these with us to the live show as well.
We are, arms and all.
Actually, we take them on the road with us, too.
On the road.
Oh, hey. I didn't mean that. Yeah. Question mark means you get anything you want off the wheel within reason. Borrow lenses. Go to borrowlenses.com/fro. Do you remember the code, Steven?
There's no code for borrow lenses.
Oh, that's right. They didn't give us a code to buy stuff or get a discount?
Nope.
We need a code from them.
We do.
One day we'll get a code from them. But if you want to check out borrowlenses.com/fro, go ahead and do that. That's where we get rental stuff when we want to test things out that I don't have access to from Nikon or Canon.
Yep.
Sometimes Borrow Lenses gets them quicker.
Yeah.
So, like when I got the 200 to 500, had that ability to get something like that quickly. Fro Prize. You got squarespace.com/fro. Check it out. We've got, what's that say? Steven Spin again? Videoblocks.com/go/fro. We use that heavily. Do you use it at all in the next 5-minute
The
portrait?
one coming up, we have some Video Blocks clips, yes.
And that's the one from Las Vegas flying in a helicopter.
Yes. It's going to be a sweet 5-minute portrait.
So you do have as sweet as Meredith's daughter?
Oh, yeah. Her jugs.
Yeah. So
Don't poke the bear.
we use video blocks quite often.
Yeah.
And audio blocks and
All the time.
graphic stock and all that. Rode microphone again. We already talked about it. KesslerCrane.com. Kessler, they make the Pocket Jib Pro. They make a whole bunch of different professional things that are very important to use. We can't wait. Do we need the music going for this?
It plays every time.
Does it really?
Yes.
I just don't hear
We've
it.
had this conversation several
Every
times.
Have we
time.
really?
Yes.
Ugh.
And Kessler's a 10% off discount code, too.
Which is?
Which is FRO10.
Fro 10.
FRO10.
Yeah, you'll notice that a lot of professionals use Kessler products when it comes to the video world. Go check out their website. Go to KesslerCrane.com. Is it /fro?
Yep.
I believe it is. And just look around. And then when you tweet them or leave a comment somewhere on them, put a link to what you like. I like this thing, just so that they see that. Spin again. You got my Lucky Charms. Adoramapics.com/nothing.
You don't have a slash.
Adoramapics.com. They're going to give me another code.
Metal
a lot
prints?
of people took
Or-
it metal prints again.
Cool.
A lot of people took advantage of metal prints. I may talk to them and maybe switch it up because you don't want to overdo it and make it seem like it's always going to
I
happen.
mean, Metal Prince is so unique, though. I do love it.
So
But
we'll get a different code for you guys to follow up with. If we have it in time, it will be up on the screen. We've got Aurora HDR. What is the link again?
it's .com/fro.
And what is the code?
Just fro.
The code is just FRO.
Yep, for
If you want to
10%
get
off.
their
Their
HDR
pro version.
software,
Yep.
which is pretty cool. Again, if Trey Ratcliffe uses it, a.k.a. Mr. HDR, and he helped develop it, then it's got to be the right tool for you guys who want to do HDR. I still need to get in there and do something with HDR. Though I'll be photographing my brother's house, maybe but that's not the true use of HDR.
You should try it out anyway.
I should try it
Yeah.
out anyway. And
Perfect
do it.
way to do it.
Well, I have tried it out. I'm saying I just haven't dove deeply
That's what I
into
mean.
it.
Yeah.
Think Tank. Yeah, whatever. Get a bag. My bag's on sale right now. Audioblocks.com/go/fro. This is where the music's coming from right now. You also hear us talk about it during photo news. Not photo news. Yeah, photo news.
And again, in that 5-minute portrait coming out, we're going to have a ton of audio blocks in that, too.
True. Audioblocks.com/go/fro. Hoya. 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 HD3. Go check out Hoya's website for the filters. We don't have a code for them, but check out Hoya for their filters. We talk about it each and every week. Todd, spin again, and that is it. Let's get to the news. Let's get to the music really quick.
All right, what we got 3 people here. We got Umar Nasquashkababan,
I don't think that's right.
and this is a little ditty he put together.
All right, John Mayer, thank you. And people are submitting these to where?
singwheeloffro@gmail.com.
And this week we're picking the winner from these because we don't have Flying Solo.
Correct.
Oh, well, maybe it'll be Randy Gustafson. He's from Virginia.
Oh.
Not everybody puts where they're from, but if you put where you're from, I'll mention it.
Where can they
'Cause
submit
I know
to?
Jared likes that.
We just said it.
Oh.
singwheeloffro@gmail.com.
Still sing Wheel of Fro.
Oh.
And this is an announcement, special announcement he had, sports announcement, just for Jared.
RAWtalk's number 69, Jared Poland, draws double minor penalties for crosstalk and god-awful singing. Poland, 2 minutes for crosstalk, 2 minutes for god-awful singing. Time of the penalties, 17:20. For the love of God, Jared, get off your ass and spin the wheel already. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.
That's it.
Did you
I love
hear
that.
"Get Off the Ice, Asshole" in the background?
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, and he said in his email that all those sound effects were from audio blocks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Oh.
little cross-pollination there.
Well,
gee,
Last
thanks.
one is from Jordan Georgiev. I'm not sure where he's from, but this is called
Slovakia.
Spin It Like It's Hot.
When the four is in the building, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot. When the neighbor sends a message, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot. Everybody wants a prize, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot, spinning like it's hot. I fucking want the fucking prize, spinning like it's hot.
What did you
spinning
say?
Like it's hot, spinning like it's hot. Shut up, Joe.
What do you say?
Shut up, Joe. At the end.
Shut up, Joe.
I vote. Can I vote first?
I wonder which one you're going to
I'm
pick.
going to go with the hockey one.
I was going to ask you, is that hockey? I felt like I was
it's
like, I
definitely-
think that's hockey.
Of course
But-
it's hockey. He said, "Get
penalty
off
box.
get off the ice, asshole."
When he
I
said
went
that.
to an art school. I don't know anything about sports.
Shut up and sit down, Joe.
I'll give you
Joe,
the
get on
hockey
the
one.
microphone.
I'll give you the hockey one just because I feel
agree.
it's personal to Jared.
I like the hockey
So
one,
I do
too.
like the hockey
It
one.
was
So there
really
you go,
good. It was
Randy
unique, too. It changed it
Gustafson
up.
from Virginia. Virginia.
RAWtalk's number 69, Jared Poland, draws double minor penalties for crosstalk and god-awful singing.
God-awful
Poland,
singing.
2 minutes for crosstalk, 2 minutes for god-awful singing. Time of the
God
penalties,
damn it, he's spinning that wheel again.
For the love of
And
God.
5, 4.
Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The Wheel of FRO is going to stop on something for Mr. Gustafson from Virginia. Is it going to be the Kessler?
Is that the first time it landed on that?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Kessler Crane, KesslerCrane.com. Congratulations, Mr. Gustafson. You get 2 minutes for cross-talking and a match penalty for being you. But there's a cool prize.
Yes.
You can go to
is awesome.
KesslerCrane.com.
The quick release.
The quick release, which we use right here.
Yep.
We have
Quick
it on the
release
middle
is
camera.
awesome.
Solid piece of gear.
And
right there.
congratulations to that guy. And that's all I got, man. Does that bring us to the end of the show?
I think it does.
I enjoyed the interview part.
I did not. It just seemed really weird to me.
We need a hashtag.
You mean you really enjoyed you talking?
Why do you like busting my balls so much?
I think that's the only reason I'm here. I'm pretty sure. Hashtag.
We got crosstalk. We've got Word Shop 101. We got Stop Being Weird Noah.
Stop being weird, Noah.
Hashtag stop being weird, Noah. Yes.
If you got this far, hashtag.
Joe, shut up with your damn suggestions.
What did he say? I don't want to hear you.
Nobody knows what you said.
All I hear is somebody interrupt from the
Also,
side.
hashtag shut up, Joe.
Yeah, hashtag shut up, Joe.
And hashtag stop being weird, Noah.
And hashtag Stop Being Weird Noah. You can get all the
Noah
photos.
have a Twitter?
No, he
Let's
doesn't.
not give it out if he does.
doesn't.
But you can go to his website, wordshop101.com. Is it about
If
rap?
it's up.
Is it about rap? I don't know.
Word Shop 101.
.com. You can go to fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-172 to get all the latest photo news stories and
Slash
more.
Angel Fire.
Not /AngelFire.
Dot Angel Fire.
Remember,
Get it right.
it goes up on Mondays. The photo news part does. Thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for tweeting out to the sponsors and people that help make this show possible, because that's the point of having sponsors and plugs, that they allow us to keep making cool stuff. Not just Raw Talk. It trickles over into 5-minute portraits, and especially when Borrow Lenses can get us lenses or bodies
Huge.
that we can't get from somebody else because they're just not in stock.
Lets me buy Porsches and buildings as well.
Porsches and buildings. No, I bought a freaking scooter that was $400.
Oh my
And it's
gosh,
great.
that scooter
Did you get it yet?
is-
Yes, it's there. I don't even know how to turn it on.
Can't wait to
I
see
put
you
the
ride
key
that
in.
thing.
I can't
worst.
figure out how to unlock it. I know nothing about riding a scooter, though I had a dream that I wrote it very well.
I do
I have
with
a
an
dream
afro.
of you coming into RAWtalk with like skids up your arm.
And as soon as the guy brought it, one of Adam's friends had it, and it was used. It's a Buddy 50, so it only goes 30
What
miles an
girl
hour.
was this that owned it before?
His ex-wife.
Exactly.
But as soon as he drive, I'm like, why did I buy a scooter? I'll just drive my car. Let's wrap this up. Thank you guys for everything. We'll see everybody next week at the live RAWtalk.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
That's gonna
you
be a
show
fun
up,
time.
and that will be fun.
I'm gonna be hammered.
But we will. That is, of course, being filmed, and we will then put it out the week after, so you guys can watch it and see how it was to have a live.
But you'll
RAWtalk.
miss all the inappropriate stuff we cut out.
Exactly.
Possibly. All right, let's put an end to the show. Jared Poland, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.
RAWtalk's number 69, Jared Poland, draws double minor penalties for crosstalk and god-awful singing. Poland, 2 minutes for crosstalk, 2 minutes for god-awful singing. Time of the penalties, 17:20. For the love of God, Jared, get off your ass and spin the wheel already. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.